Now at 6, rain, thunder, lightning, a storm is pushing through Houston.
I'm on the road tracking trouble spots for your morning drive.
So when will the rain clear out and will it wash out your weekend?
Joe Biden responds.
I hear what they're saying. I understand it.
The former VP's message as more women say that he touched them inappropriately.
Could vaping lead to seizures? The FDA wants to find out.
Or connecting the dots on the side effects of e-cigarettes.
It's a belt without a buckle and gets great reviews online. But is it worth it? We're trying one on at 6:15.
Drama on the diamond. Why Astros fans are calling foul on this umpire. Live from the KHOU 11 studios, H-Town Rush starts right now.
And first at 6 this morning, we have some breaking news. Lightning striking overnight, and look at that, setting 3 oil tanks on fire in northeast Harris County. The flames, they're now out thanks to the firefighters. That lightning strike, part of the strong storm that pushed through overnight. The radar showing us now that it's moved off east of Houston.
The rain may be lighter now, but it could slow your morning drive. Check out the live weather tracker camera. It is definitely slick out there this morning.
And let's get right to our rush block here at 6 o'clock with meteorologist Chita with the latest on what's happened.
Yeah, well, even though the strongest storms are now off to our east from the Texas-Louisiana border, we're still looking at the chance for a few scattered showers and even a few storms before your lunchtime hour. So satellite and radar picture this morning. As you see the loop, the strongest storms are moving to our east. They move through really quickly for our overnight hours, but probably loud enough that everybody heard it overnight. And now these cells, well, you can see from Lake Charles lit up in red, all the lightning is actually moving pretty quickly to the east. So what you can expect today, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorm possible up until your lunchtime hour. High temperatures build to 80 degrees today. So it is warm, it's humid, and so we sent Michelle Choi live outside. We're tracking scattered showers, a few thunderstorms possible, Michelle, but you're saying you're just seeing a light mist, maybe some kick-up spray early this morning?
Yeah, that's right, Chita. You know, it's just sort of that kind of gross, wet start this morning. Take a look at what we're seeing. We are, as you mentioned, we're actually on Highway 90 headed south from Crosby. And yeah, a lot of mist and wet roads. Those are the two things we're seeing. Now, the good news is the worst of it is over and we're not seeing any heavy rain like we did overnight. But because it's still misting, guys, you'll need to turn on your windshield wipers once in a while. And keep in mind, we haven't had this kind of heavy rain in a while, so that means roads are slick. So be sure to be careful and give yourself a few extra minutes before you head out this morning. But Steph, now that we're heading into rush hour traffic, how's it looking out on the roads, especially with these wet conditions?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to scare anyone, Michelle, but it was actually a lot busier and worse in the 4:30 half hour. So it's still damp out there, but I'm not seeing the crash that I was seeing earlier this morning. Now, with that in mind, there's still rush hour traffic that we need to worry about, even though we don't see any accidents. This is just south of Greens Point. So this is your North Freeway southbound, where we're starting to see some raindrops on the camera and a lot of taillights there. Also reports of possibly a road incident at Mount Houston. I'll let you know if that turns into anything. Flatbed on scene here south by the loop, and then also final phase of cleanup with this 2-car crash on your south beltway east of 288. Russ and Lisa.
All right, Steph, thank you for that. Let's get to some breaking news right now from overnight. Police say a woman was stabbed to death by her neighbor. This happened near East End on Harrisburg Boulevard. Police found that woman with 2 stab wounds and took her to the hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Her neighbor is in custody. Police say the two had been arguing and that alcohol may have played a factor in this.
It is 3 minutes after 6 today. Former Vice President Joe Biden will make his first public appearance since several women accused him of unwanted touching. And a lot of people were unhappy with his attempt to explain that behavior.
I've always tried to make a human connection. That's my responsibility, I think. I shake hands, I hug people, I grab men and women by the shoulders and say, you can do this.
So that's a 2-minute video that he posted to Twitter. Biden said social norms are changing and he would be more mindful and respectful of people's personal space from now on. Well, that part upset a lot of people who said touching women in that way has never been appropriate. And one of the 7 accusers points out that Biden didn't actually apologize in the video. All signs do point to Biden running for president. In the video, Biden also hinted about that. He's expected to launch his campaign sometime later this month.
Your Rush Block continues with the day's other big stories. The wife of a man convicted in the choking death of a man at a Denny's in Sheldon won't be facing any charges.
Murder charges against former Harris County Sheriff's Deputy Chauna Thompson have been dropped. Prosecutors say that after reviewing all of the evidence, they do not feel there is enough to actually get a conviction. Family and friends of John Hernandez would have hoped that it would have gone to trial, but now they said that they are spared a third trial and they can begin to close this painful chapter in their lives.
The man accused in the New Zealand mosque attacks now formally charged with 50 counts of murder and 39 counts of attempted murder. He's due back in court tomorrow. Harris County may sue KHOU after the deadly explosion at its plant in Crosby this week. 27-year-old James Mangum was killed in the fire.
Everybody's going to miss him because he was always so comical.
2 other workers are still in critical condition. House Democrats file a formal request with the IRS for President Trump's tax returns. The president says he'll fight the move.
We're under audit, despite what people said.
House Dems may have to subpoena Trump's accounting firm for his tax returns.
Good!
Chris Paul's buzzer beater from past half court ended the third quarter and the Clippers' hopes. The Rockets topped LA 135-103. Houston is home against the Knicks tomorrow night. That's your Rush Block. Today's big headlines from here in Houston and around the world. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood. You can tweet us with the hashtag HTownRush.
All right, at 6 minutes after, Astros fans, a lot of you fired up this morning, calling for Major League Baseball to maybe better control its umpires.
Yeah, one of the men calling last night's game ended up throwing out 2 Astros coaches, including A.J. Hinch. Brandy's here with what went down. Brandy?
Well, guys, it is never a good sign when the umpire of a game is trending, but take a look. Folks on Twitter are still raging about Ron Kulpa. And here is a look at why. Some of the calls like this. Number 5 here was clearly in the strike zone. Kulpa called it a ball, and he walked Ranger Joey Gallo. That was one instance. On top of that, Kulpa responded to everything coming from the Astros bench with a smirk. So this is a Rangers writer who points out that authorities are supposed to de-escalate, and Kulpa has done the exact opposite of that tonight. That is how we got here.
Pitches in the strike zone that weren't called. There were pitches out of the strike zone that were called. And we see a lot of the frustration. Cintron gets run, and now A.J. comes in.
So Kulpa already ejected Astros hitting coach Alex Cintron. Then he got into this exchange with Hinch. So taking a little closer look, both of these guys are pretty angry. But what got to fans is what came next. If you watch Kulpa's lips very carefully, there's some interpretation of exactly what he said. Some people suggest that there's a bad word in there, but the gist of it is, I can do anything I want. And Twitter is doing what Twitter does, making a GIF of that. I can do anything I want. And what would internet outrage be without an edit to a Wikipedia page? Astros fans taking their revenge, editing his bio to say he is a blind umpire. So fans are really upset, and they're even taking to MLB, tweeting at MLB, asking the league to address what this Twitter user calls out of control umpires. He says they are ruining the game.
You know, this has been a debate for a long time.
A long time.
Umpires, since I was a little kid. Some umpires, home plate, are more of showboaters, you know. They're
any league, any official. You have the theatric ones and the ones that are more chill and
just businesslike. Exactly. And maybe he's one of the ones that just wants to be part of part of the show.
He got it. Trending on Twitter all night.
All right. If the Astros would win a few more games, I think a lot of this stuff would just kind of go away.
We can hope. Yeah. Home opener tomorrow.
Yes.
We'll see how it goes.
Let's send it over to Chita for the one thing you need to know.
Oh, I know. Bring it home tomorrow, guys. Well, the one thing you need to know, we're talking rain. Rain this morning and the chance for an isolated thunderstorm even through your lunchtime hour. Rain drops out, though, by the afternoon. I'll have your 7-day forecast coming up in about 5 minutes, Steph.
All right, Chita, thanks. One thing you need to know in traffic, I was mentioning a problem that we had in and around Mount Houston. We heard it on scanners. We found it. It is, believe it or not, northbound lanes of the North Freeway. This is all at Gulf Bank, and the frontage lane completely blocked right now. Rare that I would tell you to stay on the main lanes, but it's a better option at this point. Send it back to you, Russ and Lisa.
Thank you, Steph. There are some new concerns this morning about vaping after dozens of people claim that it caused seizures.
Our Janelle Bluda connects the dots on what you need to know.
You may have seen the headlines asking if vaping is linked to seizures. So what's going on? Let's connect the dots. The Food and Drug Administration has launched an investigation to see if vaping is linked to seizures after getting 35 reports of people suffering one after using an e-cigarette. While 35 may not seem like a big number, the FDA is concerned because seizures can be a side effect of nicotine poisoning. It's seen in agricultural workers who handle nicotine leaves and children who accidentally swallow e-cigarette liquids. There is also a concern because not all e-cigarettes deliver the same level of nicotine. Some, like the popular Juul, deliver higher doses. Since e-cigarettes are relatively new, research into the health effects are just starting to trickle out, and it suggests vaping may carry serious side effects for the heart, lungs, and developing brain. So while there's not a lot of hard evidence yet, you might want to take a deep breath before grabbing that e-cigarette. Connecting the dots, I'm Janelle Bluda for H-Town Rush.
All right, Janelle, thank you.
It is 10 minutes after 6. It's time to pay up. Today's the deadline for Jussie Smollett to repay Chicago for the investigation into his police report. But there is one person who could change that.
Our Tiffany Craig is testing out this belt right here. It's a belt without a buckle. She's going to tell us if it's worth it. And this morning's H-Town 60, from the tiniest cars to the classic American muscle cars, I'll show you why you'll want to make a pit stop here at Mecum Auctions.